The ending is very rushed because I was too stressed back then and then I lost motivation. Sorry. Hope you enjoy it anyway. We should go back before someone notices we're gone. Suna hummed, dazed by Osamu. Yeah, too late for that. Both men startled. Suna immediately let go of Osamu. They got dressed again and Osamu threw Suna an old rag where he had previously wiped his stained hand. Suna copied him. 𝒂𝒂𝒅. Osamu stared deeply into his eyes. The mask he wore didn't allow him to see what condition he was in. Atsumu is looking for you. 𝒂𝒂𝒅's voice was harsh, his gaze icy. Osamu swallowed, nodding once, trying to get words past his lips. Yeah. I'll go check on him. He risked a glance out of the corner of his eye at Suna, seeing him desperately turned away from him and 𝒂𝒂𝒅, one hand lingering in his hair while the other covered his mouth. Osamu swallowed. They were screwed. But most of all, Suna was. Sammy, you should leave. Osamu winced at Suna's voice. He didn't want him to be alone. You should keep an eye on your brother. Osamu furrowed his brow and gulped. You should keep an eye on your brother was Suna's way to say he's going to be fine. Okay. Osamu rushed past 𝒂𝒂𝒅, leaving Suna behind. He felt the raven's furious glare following him steadily, and he had a really weird feeling about leaving Suna alone with him. He squeezed his eyes shut and took a deep breath before pushing the door open and letting the party people pull him back to reality. It's not like they didn't deserve this. 𝒂𝒂𝒅's arms were crossed in front of his chest, his gaze now fixed on Suna, who still made no move to turn to him. Care to explain? Suna's gaze traveled back to him, but no words passed his lips. He took a deep breath through his nose, let his hand slide to his hips, and exhaled deeply through his mouth. His heart was racing. I could say it wasn't what it looked like, but seriously? You really dare to start like that? Osamu of all people, are you still sane? 𝒂𝒂𝒅 scoffed and shook his head. Suna narrowed his eyes and gave him a similar look back. What? Because I don't deserve him? That's what it's all about? Do you really think you deserve him? I honestly don't know why that's any of your business. 𝒂𝒂𝒅's eyebrows shot up. Why that's any of my business? You just cheated on my cousin. With my boyfriend's brother. Please tell me again how that's none of my business. Suna swallowed audibly, his gaze locked firmly with 𝒂𝒂𝒅. Do you have any idea how much this will crush Motoa? Will it? Suna snapped and 𝒂𝒂𝒅 scowled even more. Thin ice. Suna. I'm serious. 𝒂𝒂𝒅. To you, things between me and Komori may appear great, almost perfect, but they're not. And that's why you're cheating on him? Because things aren't going well lately? Suna clutched his body as he leaned against a shelf, his rigid gaze averted from 𝒂𝒂𝒅 and focused forward, staring holes in the air. Toya is a good boy. 𝒂𝒂𝒅 watched him skeptically. Then Suna turned to the curly-haired spiker. It was clear from the beginning that he deserved someone better than me. And that's how you justify cheating on him? You're literally asking him to catch you. Yeah. Deep down, Suna most likely really did. Do you even love him? Suna's eyes widened. I like him. He blurted out blankly. Big green eyes were locked tightly with Kayumi's cold dark ones. I'm having fun with him, 𝒂𝒂𝒅. I'm enjoying his company. He treats me well, you know. But Osamu treats me better, in every way. Suna always wanted Osamu to notice him. For more than being his best friend and not for the fuckboy he is. He was too much of a coward to ever tell him that he has feelings for the gray-haired twin because it was Osamu, after all. His best friend. You're not fair to him one bit. I know, I never said I was. And maybe Komori was just the right victim because he was sweet, lovely, caring. Everything Osamu ever wanted to be. But Suna could never actually like him that way, could he? Pining idiots. You can tell him what you saw or don't. You are the last person I asked to keep my secrets. He's my cousin. What do you expect? Suna sighed, pushed himself from the shelf to walk past 𝒂𝒂𝒅. He stopped briefly and glanced at him out of the corner of his eye. I'll talk to him when we get back to Nagano, but Suna gulped, watching 𝒂𝒂𝒅's expression darken. Motoya is not the angel you think he is, 𝒂𝒂𝒅. 𝒂𝒂𝒅 had no idea what Suna meant by that. Osamu's heart stopped the moment he found Motoya standing with his brother and a few other former Inarizaki players. He took a deep breath, pulled himself together, and then rushed up to the two. Atsumu, we need to talk. Atsumu's face was flushed, probably from the alcohol, and his expression darkened as Osamu pulled him away by his arm. Geez, what the? I slept with Rin. He spat out when they were alone and no guests could hear them. Atsumu blinked. Once, twice, 12 times. You what? Huh? Right now? Now, last week? Hell, this has been going on forever. What the fuck, Samu? I know I fucked up, Tsumu. he said heatedly and desperately as he ran his hand through his hair. I thought you never wanted to get involved with Rin? For fuck's sake, I thought you weren't into him anymore. Osamu remained silent and just scowled at his brother. Can you stop being annoying for 5 minutes and just help me? Atsumu opened his mouth, then shut it again immediately. He gulped, eyed his brother, and then spoke in a softer tone. He's dating Motoa, Samu. I know. Geez, what's gotten into ya? Osamu remained silent again, glancing at the floor. Kyumi caught us. Huh. Kyumi caught. Right now. Osamu nodded. Atsumu ran his hands through his hair and turned away from his brother, trying not to completely lose his cool. How could he be so stupid? And here they were all thinking that Osamu was the more reasonable of the two. So what now? Huh? What do you expect me to do now? Osamu's gaze snapped up into his brother's eyes. He didn't know himself. He can't tell Motoa. Are you fucking serious right now? Please. Rin. Osamu fell silent. He swallowed thickly and then looked down at the floor, speaking softly, almost mumbling. He can't lose Motoa. Atsumu's eyes widened, his stomach twisted. He was mad. At his brother, at Suna, at himself for not noticing. How could they have been so stupid? How could Osamu be so naive and get involved with Suna, of all people? They both knew what kind of person he was. A fuckboy. Yeah, so stupid. Samu. Why do you still want to protect him? Osamu's gaze snapped up to Atsumu, scowling at him. Because he's my best friend, Atsumu. He's playing with you. I don't care about that. Atsumu couldn't furrow his brow any further. He felt like beating up his brother and Suna. I'm gonna talk to Omi. Atsumu spoke up after some time of silence. But I will not convince him of anything. Motoya doesn't deserve that. Thanks, Atsumu. Osamu's eyes blazed. This has to stop, Samu. Osamu nodded. I know. If only it was that easy. Hey, have you seen Rin? Komori snapped the twins out of their conversation. Atsumu turned around abruptly and Samu's gaze filled with panic and fear. They looked at Komori startled. Then Osamu blurted out. He needed some fresh air. Maybe he's still outside. I see. I really need to drag him home. I'm kind of wasted and just incredibly tired. Yeah, you guys should go home. Atsumu smiled weakly at him. As Motoya turned to look for Suna, Osamu's eyes fell on dark spots on the back of his neck. There were hickeys, one larger than the other. Osamu swallowed. I'll go check on him outside. Okay. Thanks for the party. It was amazing. Thanks for stopping by, Toya-kun. Osamu nodded him goodbye, his gaze immediately returning to his purple-toned skin as he walked away from the twins. Atsumu snorted. Rin sleeps with you and still throws himself at Motoya so hard. Have you seen the hickeys? He's a fucking asshole, Samu. Osamu swallowed thickly. They weren't there earlier. Atsumu disengaged his gaze from EJP's libero and looked at Osamu in confusion. The hickeys. They weren't there when I sneaked away with Rin. We broke up. Suna slumped down on a bar stool at a nigiri and propped his elbows on top of the counter. He put his chin in his palms and glanced at Osamu indifferently. Osamu gulped. You okay? Rin furrowed his brow and shifted his gaze to the glass in Osamu's hand. He nodded slightly and a faint smile appeared on his lips, widening once he glanced back into Osamu's ash-gray eyes. Then he let out a small chuckle. What? It's kind of funny when you're the one being cheated. Huh? Ever since Kyumi caught Osamu and Suna, almost 2 weeks passed by. Osamu and Suna didn't really have much contact during that time. This was due to their delicate situation on the one hand, and EJP's busy training and match schedule on the other. Osamu let Suna and Komori go back to Nagano, only getting a message from Suna that he would handle everything and that he would get back to him soon. Osamu never knew how to feel about that. Or actually he always did. What do you mean? The corner of Rin's mouth quirked up in a smirk. He cocked one eyebrow while straightening up in his seat. He was cheating too. Osamu choked. He was what? With whom? Suna chuckled at that, shook his head and turned his gaze back to Osamu. Akagi. Osamu blinked. Akagi? Michinari? Akagi Michinari? Our former libero? Yup. Geez. Osamu blurted out a laugh and put the towel and glass from his hands away to prop his palms on top of the counter opposite Rin. He shook his head. Guess you guys fit together pretty well, huh? Suna snorted. We're cool, Samu. None of us is really mad. You wouldn't have a reason. And neither does he. Suna smirked at Osamu. The latter just sighed. And now? You talked about everything. Yeah, we did. So what happens now? Osamu's gaze flicked between the fire in Suna's green eyes. He licked hungry over his lips before pulling the bottom lip between his teeth. Now, he began. Let's admit the things we both wanted from the very beginning, Osamu. Suna hooked a finger under Osamu's chin and pulled him close. Their gazes fall on each other's lips, their breath hot on their mouths. Why should I trust you? Osamu murmured against Suna's lips. Suna smirked. Because I've always told you the truth. And what is the truth about that between you and me? Suna bit his lips, blushed, and scooted closer to Osamu, brushing his soft lips. That I'm all yours, and yours alone. Always have been, Samu. Osamu grinned, grabbed Suna's collar and pulled him even closer before closing the inch-wide gap between their mouths. Finally. No matter how bored, indifferent, difficult Suna and Osamu were with each other, they were always honest with each other, and they always would be. You're mine. Osamu whispered between their kisses. Always will be.